Welcome to the Rich TV Live podcast. I'm your host, Richard D'Souza, and we have a very special program today. We are waiting for Fed Chairman Powell to speak, as it has already been announced that the Fed has left the rates unchanged. Thank you, Fed. Thank you for not raising the rates yet again. We've been raising rates nonstop for well over a year. Thank you for pausing again going into Christmas and Thanksgiving in America. So this is good news. We're going to talk about what's going on in the markets. We're going to give you all the updates. We're waiting for Powell to speak. We're going to listen to Powell speak. We're going to give you all the breaking news as it happens. And we're going to go over all the hot stocks and cryptos of the day right here, exclusively with your boy, your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. And I hope you're having a great day. Happy hump day for all of you guys. Hope you're having a great day as we are waiting for Powell to speak and give his opinion on what's happening with the Fed in America, why they're not raising rates, and hopefully we can start seeing rates get cut next year and start going back down. That's what we're hoping for. I'm sure that's what everyone's waiting for, because higher rates means you got to pay more for your car loans, student loans, mortgage, credit cards, lines of credit, any debt that you have. You're paying more for your interest when the rates are going higher. So this is not good for people in general. And that's why it's very, very big news. And that's why we're waiting for Powell to speak on this today so we can hear exactly from the chair. All right. Let's do some stuff here. I'm just getting organized here. We are streaming on multiple devices. First and foremost, I really appreciate it if you smash the like button wherever you're watching. Follow us, subscribe for future updates, future live videos, future edited videos, CEO interviews, breaking news, trending topics in the world of sports, news. We're covering the war every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, giving you content. We just put out a top 10 Bitcoin-related stocks video for November 2023, so go check that out as well, exclusively on Rich TV Live. All right. So the Fed is still determining the extent of additional policy firming. I'm just waiting for Powell to speak, and he is literally on stage right now, and we're just waiting for him and his words so we can see if he's going to be hawkish, if he's going to be dovish. Some believe that this is the end and we're not going to see any more rate hikes. Others believe that there will be at least one more next year. So we will be watching very, very closely and giving you all the news and all the updates live as it happens. Like we always do. We're always updating you on what's going on in the world of stocks. We're always updating you on what's going on in the world of Bitcoin. We're always updating you on what's going on in the world, the war, in the world of sports. You name it, we cover it and we trade it. So big, big, big news. The Fed is leaving rates unchanged for the second meeting in a row. All right, here we go. Chair Powell is now speaking.
We understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Still focusing on getting that inflation down to 2%. That's what Powell's saying right off the bat.
Price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong.
All right, let's take a look at the charts.
Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly.
And we'll look at Market Watch to take a look at what the market is doing. So the market is in the green, responding to this news. The market is in the green. Gold is red, oil is red, and the VIX is red. The Dow Jones is green, S&P 500 is green, and the NASDAQ's green. So the market is responding well to this news.
Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Given how far we have come, along with the uncertainties and risks we face,
Powell says we remain focused on steady employment and price stability.
And how long policy will remain restricted based on the totality of the incoming data, the evolving outlook.
So here's one of the hottest stocks of the day. It's the hottest stock of the day. It's CLLS. Look at that huge candle on CLLS. Huge day for them, up 190%. Another stock that's having a good day today is Patty, PATI. Huge candle over there. They're up 102% on the day. PATI, Patty. Now, what a lot of people are saying is the next shoe to drop will be real estate as mortgage rates continue to stay high. If these mortgage rates don't start to go down aggressively, there's going to start being a lot of pressure on homeowners, as homeowners will not be able to make their mortgage payments, and that's going to force them either to sell their homes or to default on their mortgage payment. So that is one of the next big shoes to drop. We haven't seen it yet because a lot of people are still not really. A lot of people have fixed mortgages. So a lot of people aren't seeing any changes in their mortgage yet. But in the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of those fixed mortgages are going to be due and they're going to have to renew. And if they have to renew at a higher price, I think a lot of those fixed rate mortgages are going to start feeling a lot of pressure, and those homeowners are going to start feeling a lot of pressure. So Powell is saying that inflation is well above the long goal of 2%. So there's still a focus on getting this inflation down, and the only real way to do that is to raise rates. But the economy has expanded well above expectations. So the economy has done well despite the fact that inflation is high and rates are high.
The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation.
Okay, we are streaming on multiple devices all over the world. If you have any questions, please put in the chat. I'll do my best to answer those questions. Here's ALDX. They're up 43% of the day. These are some of the hottest movers of the day so far. And TGTX up 31%. MNPR up 24%. And Scott's Miracle-Gro SMG up 19%. So the Fed has been selling stock. The Fed has been selling stock into this hot market. Interesting. So the Fed is focusing on reducing its securities holdings significantly as the market has done well. And Powell is saying that the labor market remains tight. So obviously, in this tough situation, one of the things that's been doing well is the job market is very strong.
Financial conditions have tightened significantly in recent months, driven by higher, longer-term bond yields, among other factors. Because persistent changes in financial conditions can have implications for that.
Scott's Miracle-Gro having a nice day, finding a bid up 19%. YCBD, CBD company up 18%. CLGN up 16%. MDAI up 14%. GVP up 13%. LIFW up 10%. AMD, after reporting financials, having a big day, up 8%. So big day for AMD. Powell says he's remaining committed to bringing inflation down to the 2% goal. Nvidia bouncing back up 2% today. They're back to $419. Meta well over 300 again, back to 309. Microsoft having a big day, up 2%. They're at $345. Amazon, after reporting strong earnings, up 2% at $136. Google, after dropping after earnings, starting to find a bid, up 1%. Netflix, up 1% at $417. So all these bigger companies doing well. Apple reporting tomorrow, they're up back to $172, up 1%. Ripple, back over 60 cents now. Speaking of cryptos, Ripple over 60 cents. Tesla, I did tell you when it was under 200 that I thought it was a buy, and it is, because it's now back to 202. It didn't stay under 200 for long. I thought it might. It didn't. And we're now back to $202 on Tesla. Ethereum is slowly but surely making a big move here. Ethereum at 1825 and in the green. And Bitcoin, 34,660. Bitcoin looking strong. I've been marking Bitcoin for the entire year. You can see it's up well over 100% on the year. Congratulations if you've been taking advantage of this move on Bitcoin. And I did predict we'd get over 30,000 in October. We're now at almost 35,000. We're at 34,584. So it's broken all of my targets that I set. And I believe that we still have huge catalysts that can take Bitcoin much further and much higher from here. All right, so I did do a top 10 Bitcoin related stocks, which you can find on social media, and you can find it on Rich TV Live, all over social media. So in number 10, I have Maxi, MAXI. So Maxi is my number 10 pick. Simplify Bitcoin Strategy Plus. It's my number 10 pick for November. But take a look at this. See how it's been going up? These are the 1-year charts. This is a very bullish chart. All of these picks that are Bitcoin related have done and performed extremely well this year. So you can see that they have performed extremely well, has Maxi. They're my number 10 pick for November 2023. In number 9, I have XBTF. VanEck Bitcoin Strategy ETF. XBTF. And you can see here how XBTF has performed this year. Another one that is doing extremely well. And you can see the chart up here. So big moves for all of these Bitcoin related stocks and ETFs. And this is why I'm saying that you guys need to be aware of what's going on with Bitcoin and Bitcoin related stocks, because they're performing extremely well. And in a market where a lot of stocks are not performing extremely well, most of these Bitcoin related stocks have done extremely well. As you can see, XBTF is up 67% on the year. And the next pick is BTF. Valkyrie, Bitcoin, and Ethereum strategy on the NASDAQ. You can see here at $12.75. And you can see they perform very well. They're also up big this year. So, I mean, all of these charts look very, very similar. Everything that is Bitcoin related has performed well this year because Bitcoin has been performed well. So if you want exposure to Bitcoin, you don't have to buy crypto. You can actually buy the stock. And these are Bitcoin related stocks and ETFs that you can own and you can purchase. So you can see that these charts are all very, very bullish. So that's BTF. Now another one is BTBT, one that I've personally sold this year on the big move, Bit Digital. It's a Bitcoin miner, BTBT, and they are up this year as well, having a big year and doing extremely well. Is the 1 year.
I don't want to answer your question about the recession, but the answer is no. I think I have to answer it since we did publicly say in the minutes. You'll know anyway. This definitely not a recession back then. It would be hard to see how you would do that if you look at the activity we've seen recently, which is not really indicative of a recession in the near term. In terms of
all right, so BTBT, I'm just marking this up. You can see that they have also performed very well and having a big year. And you can see that BTBT, which is a Bitcoin miner, is currently up 354% in the last year. So huge move for BTBT. That's why I sold it. I took my profits because they perform well and I wanted to make sure I made money on my trade. Another one that's a Bitcoin miner that's in my top 10 for November is BITF. Now, why do I have them all in my top 10? Because Bitcoin's performing well. And if Bitcoin continues to perform well in November, a lot of these stocks will follow as they have all year. Here's BITF, another one that I personally own, a Bitcoin miner, and you can see that they have performed well. So they are my number 6 pick for November 2023. BITF, Bitfarms, a Bitcoin miner, like a penny stock at $1, and I think they have some really good upside. Super risky. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for information and education purposes. Please do your due diligence and do your research before you invest in anything we talk about or discuss. Past performance is not always an indication of future results. Here's GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC. They've also performed very well. You can see I've been charting it. They are having a monster year. Monster year. Let's see. In the last year, they are up 216%. So if you want to own Bitcoin without actually putting it on a crypto exchange, without putting it on a wallet and potentially getting it hacked and dealing with any of those issues and losing your passwords and all that stuff, you can buy GBTC. It's up 216% this year. It's up more than Bitcoin. So there are lots of assets out there now that you can purchase that can give you exposure to Bitcoin without actually physically buying Bitcoin. Now, why is GBT so special? They own over 600,000 Bitcoin. They are one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. GBTC. Put them on your radar, put them on your watch list. Yeah, I agree. A rate cut would be huge for the market. I think everyone should be aware of GBTC. And GBTC is also working on getting a Bitcoin spot ETF. So if they do get approved for a Bitcoin spot ETF, I believe that will also be very bullish for GBTC. So put GBTC on your radar and on your watch list. They're my number 5 pick for November 2023, and they're currently up 216% in the last year. So they've performed extremely well. And as you can see, my chart has them, it's even going higher than where my chart had it last. So it just keeps going up almost every single day. As the price of Bitcoin goes up, so do these Bitcoin related stocks. All right, in my number 4 pick for November 2023, that's a Bitcoin related stock and ETF, Global X Blockchain and Bitcoin ETF, BITS. BITS, another Bitcoin related ETF that I think everyone needs to be aware of. Put them on your radar, put them on your watch list. BITS, another one that has performed very well as the price of Bitcoin has. And you can see here, these charts all look very, very similar. They're all going up because they are climbing up and they follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, they will go up. If Bitcoin goes down, they will go down. Bitcoin's been going up all year. BITS has also been going up. So BITS is my number 4 pick for November 2023. All right, in number 3, another Bitcoin ETF, BITO, ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF on the New York Stock Exchange, currently at $17.48. And look at the chart. They all look the same. All look the same. They're all climbing as the price of Bitcoin is climbing. BITO, put it on your radar, put on your watch list. Another Bitcoin ETF that is performing well as the price of Bitcoin is climbing up higher this year. All right, that's my number 3 pick for November 2023. And in number 2, this is one that I think everyone needs to be aware of, Coinbase. Coinbase is the largest exchange in America for cryptocurrencies. It's also the exchange that all of these Bitcoin ETFs are going to use to put their crypto. So when these Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved, all of these that are American are all going to be placing their Bitcoin at Coinbase. I think that's extremely bullish for Coinbase. I don't own any Coinbase. I've never bought Coinbase, but I'm very, very interested in getting involved. You can see it's been as low as $30. It's now at $77. And Coinbase is up this year 158%. So you could be up 158% buying Coinbase this year, buying the stock. The symbol is coin, COIN. That's Coinbase. And they're up 158% on the year. They're my number 2 pick for November 2023. All right. What else?
So similar issue that there, as you point out, global geopolitical tensions are quickly elevated, and that goes to the war in Ukraine, goes to the war between Israel and Hamas. We're monitoring that. Our general opinion for those things.
Right now, Powell's talking about the wars in the Ukraine and in Gaza with Israel and Hamas and how that's affecting the market. Right now, the Dow Jones was up a lot. It's starting to lose a little bit of its luster. It's just slightly green now. So the market took a very dovish stance. Now it's starting to take a little bit of a hawkish stance. So Powell is saying that the question we are asking is, should we hike more? So Powell is definitely thinking about hiking more. The question is how much and when. So that is kind of spooking the market a little bit as he speaks.
Just curious, what sentiments did you hear from them, or what did you pick up on, and was there anything that surprised you from in terms of what they talked about? I wouldn't say I was terribly surprised. I was very impressed by your calendar.
All right, my number 1 pick in my top 10 stocks was MicroStrategy, MSTR. MSTR is Michael Saylor's company. He's the CEO. And all they do at MicroStrategy is buy Bitcoin. That's all they do. Now let's take a look at the stock price. Look at this. Another one of these charts that looks very, very similar. I've already had it tracked because I've been tracking all of these. And look at how much this one's up in the last year. MicroStrategy's MSTR, Michael Saylor's company, is up 207% this year. 207% MicroStrategies is up this year. Another huge, huge move for a company that all they do is buy Bitcoin. That's all they do. No Bitcoin mining, no Ethereum, no Doge, no Shiba Inu, nothing. All Michael Saylor does is buy Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin at 34,500 right now, he's up. I believe his average is around 28 or 29,000. So he's up on his Bitcoin, and all he does is he raises money with his public company and buys Bitcoin. I mean, it's a simple business strategy. It's a very, very simple business strategy. So, and it's worked for him, it's worked for MicroStrategy, and it's worked for any investors that are buying MicroStrategy. So that's why I've got MSTR as my number one pick, because they are hot. They've been hot all year. And if Bitcoin continues to go up higher, which I believe it will over the next 25 to 26 months, the next 2 years, MicroStrategies will also go up. And you can see here, MicroStrategies, when Bitcoin hit its all-time highs, MicroStrategies also hit ridiculous levels of $1,000. So there's still room for this to double from here. So there's room for MicroStrategy to go to 1,000. And if they do, you can still double your money from these levels. You pretty much make another 150% from these levels for MicroStrategy to fill in that gap. And I believe there's a very good chance that they will hit all-time highs if Bitcoin hits all-time highs, which I predict it will by November 2025 or sooner. So if you're like me and you believe that Bitcoin is going to go higher, these are stocks that you need to be looking at because they're following the price action of Bitcoin. Powell is saying reducing inflation is likely to require lower growth and softer labor. It's like they're wishing for they're wishing for the labor market to get weak. It's just bizarre. It's so bizarre. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Why does the labor market have to get soft for inflation to go down? So the market is losing a lot of its luster as Powell is flip-flopping back forth between should we raise rates? Will we raise rates? Looks like we have to raise rates. Maybe we won't raise rates. He's all over the place. But at the end of the day, if they want to get inflation down to 2%, the only way they can do it is by raising rates. They have no other plan other than raising rates. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have to raise rates whether they like it or not. So those are my top 10 Bitcoin related stocks for November 2023. Powell says financial conditions have clearly tightened. He's dropped the word recession a few times. Here's one of the hottest stocks of the day, CLLS. Now, it's very difficult for me to want to buy these stocks, and this is why. They've been higher, right? It's now getting up to that high for the year, but it's been much lower, and it's bouncing off a bottom, and it's probably on news. But the reality is, do you trust it knowing that it's been higher, it's come all the way down, and now it's making this move? It's very difficult to trust these stocks because they all have these types of patterns and these types of charts. Here's PATI up 103% on the day. And if we look at the 1-year chart, you can see that this is actually at a 52-week high. So this is actually at a 52-week high as PATI. So big explosion for them. Definitely one to put on your radar and put on your watch list. I'm not going to chase something at a 52-week high, but clearly people are chasing it and buying it. Here's ALDX. You can see that it's come down, and it's got one of those charts that I've been showing you guys where it's kind of like done a dead cat bounce. You can see it's come down, and now it's doing a dead cat bounce where it's bouncing back up. So a lot of these charts look like this year. It's kind of been the way most small caps have traded this year because most have traded down. And the reason why a lot of them are trading down is because it's been difficult for them to raise capital. So what happens is when it's difficult for them to raise capital, they sell stock. When they sell stock, it takes the price down. This is the reality, right? And then on top of that, the short traders know that, so the short traders will go and short these stocks. As soon as they go and they raise capital and there's extra shares out there, it creates a massive amount of selling pressure. And that's when the shorters do their work and they short these stocks down. Market makers do it, shorters do it, smart high net worth investors do it. People inside these companies are selling the stocks because they see the prices are going down, or they're involved in the fundraising, so they're selling the stocks, taking the price down. This is why these stocks struggle to get to the higher levels and struggle to get to the next levels. And that's why this year I've been buying a lot of the bigger stocks, buying the bigger stocks, buying the bigger names. And well, actually last year I was buying the bigger stocks when they dipped, and this year I just been selling. And I've been looking to buy into these again, but they're all really high. Look, the big 7 are all high. Apple's up this year. Google's up this year. I sold Apple and Google this year already. Amazon's up this year. I sold Amazon already this year. Microsoft's up this year. All of these big stocks are up, okay? I didn't buy Amazon, but it's been up this year. NVIDIA, I didn't buy, but they've been up this year. So all these stocks are up. All of these have had these huge moves up this year. So very difficult at this point to buy them when they're all pretty much near the top. Here's Meta. They've had a monster year this year. One that I missed, unfortunately. I missed NVIDIA, and I missed Meta, and I missed Microsoft, but I bought Amazon, bought Google, bought Apple, bought Tesla, and sold them all this year. Speaking of Tesla, let's look at Tesla. So here's Tesla. It was under 200 for a short period of time, and now it's starting to climb back up, now at $203. So looks like Tesla is starting to find a bid, and I'm very, very bullish on Tesla. I think that the upside is tremendous for Tesla, and I think it's a quality company, especially now that they've got the Cybertruck coming out. I think the Cybertruck is going to be a great product for them. It's going to bring in tons of new revenue for them, and I think it's going to be a winner for them. So I think that Tesla is a very interesting company, and I'm very, very bullish on Tesla. And you know what? I think you need to watch Ethereum right now as far as cryptos, because they seem to be climbing above that 1800 mark and looking very, very bullish. And XRP, I was just saying it's at 60 cents. Now it's at 61 cents. So XRP is slowly but surely walking up higher too. So definitely need to keep your eye on all of these assets as they are starting to gain some steam and look very, very bullish. And obviously there's Bitcoin at 34,630. And I'm just waiting for it to break that 35,000 mark. I even have it charted. I have the line right there. It's right at 35,000. And every time you can see it, every time we get to that 35,000 mark, it sells. It sells. It's done it 5 times where it's hit 35,000 and sold off, hit 35,000, sold off, hit 35,000, sold off, hit 35,000, sold off, hit 35,000 and sold off. So obviously 35,000 is a key point of resistance for Bitcoin. Get to know the Bitcoin halving and do your research on the Bitcoin halving, which is now 5 months away. We're literally getting really, really close now to the Bitcoin halving event, which is 5 months away in March of 2024. And I believe that that is going to be an absolute massive catalyst for Bitcoin, where we're going to see the price go way, way higher. And a lot of people are buying Bitcoin in advance of the Bitcoin halving. That's why we've been seeing this big move in Bitcoin. But the reality is, I think we're going to go way, 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 and much, much, much higher. It's my opinion. I might be right. I might be wrong. I remain to be seen. But so far, I've been very right with Bitcoin, as Bitcoin has more than doubled this year. And I've obviously been tracking it and telling you about it. And I've got a huge Bitcoin on my desk here. You know, I've been talking about every single day for the last couple of years. And I told everyone in 2022 I was buying it and Ethereum and positioning myself for the big Bitcoin halving in 2024. And that's exactly what I've done. And I haven't sold any Bitcoin or any Ethereum, despite the fact that I am up over 158% of my portfolio right now. And I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard to not sell it. It is. But it is what it is. You know, I'm holding it because I believe it's going to go higher. Jerome Powell is speaking right now. Powell is saying we have not made any decisions on future meetings. And he said the staff did not put the recession back into their forecast in the meetings. So they're not forecasting for a recession, which is good. It's very good. One thing I don't understand is the banks had a monster year last year when rates were low. Now rates are higher and banks are going down. It's a little weird. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I don't understand how that is the case. You would think that in a higher rate environment for banks, the banks would perform better. The banks are not performing better. They're performing worse, despite the fact that they should be making more money because they're charging more interest. Less loans at higher rates. That's a good point. That's a good point. But anyone that has existing debt is paying more for their existing debt, so banks should be making more. Maybe they're not going to be giving out as many loans because people don't want to take the money at higher rates, which is a great point. But what about all the existing loans, all the existing credit cards, lines of credit, student loans, car loans, mortgages that have all been increased, that people are paying more interest on? So I think that the banks will benefit from this at some point. It's just not happening right now. But at some point, you're going to see the banks are going to come out on top because of this, because they're going to make way more money with all these higher rates. So right now, inflation is around between 3 to 4%. They're asking Powell, how long would you be willing to live with 3 to 4%? Let's take a look at the overall markets right now. Looks like they're going back up. Yeah, really surge back up now. The Dow Jones is up 237 basis points, S&P 500 up 40 basis points, and the NASDAQ up 162 basis points. So the market is performing well now on this news that there is a rate hike pause. And you can see Bitcoin's also performing well at 34,661. And if we can get through that 35,000 resistance, I think we're going to rip right to 40,000. And you can see Ethereum is just creeping up there. Look at that. Ethereum at 1831. Look at that. Very bullish price action for Ethereum today, too. So you can see that we did get over that 35,000 mark on Bitcoin and then sold off. And now we're approaching it again. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we can breach that 35,000 and then stay above that. If we can breach the 35,000 resistance and stay above it, we're going to be looking good. We'll be looking really, really solid for Bitcoin. Now, I appreciate everyone that's here on, excuse me, all the different devices that we're streaming on. If you like the content, please smash the like buttons, comment down below, share the video everywhere, and subscribe on the platforms you're on so you can follow us to get live updates, future trending topics, future videos, CEO interviews, breaking news in the world of finance, breaking news in the world of sports, breaking news in the wars that are raging right now in the Middle East and in the Ukraine and anywhere else that any breaking news happens. We'll be covering it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're just watching Powell speak right now. Powell says labor supply and demand continue to come into better balance. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate if you guys just tap the screen, tap, 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 hit that like button, tap, 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 tap. Give us some likes, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Rich TV Live podcast. We are following Jerome Powell speak on the Fed's decision to leave interest rates frozen. They are not raising rates today. They're freezing rates going into the holidays, which is great news for anyone in the world of finance. So hopefully this can be maintained, and hopefully at some point next year, we can see the rates start to go down. And once they lower rates, I think that'll be extremely bullish for the markets. I think it'll be bullish for Bitcoin. I think it'll be bullish for stocks and be bullish for assets in general. Look at Tesla. Tesla's climbing quietly, surely, but quietly. Look at this. Now at $204 and in the green. After being in the red earlier in the day, it is now in the green, and we're now at $204 for Tesla. So looking really, really strong. And I kind of wish I bought some when it was under 200. NVIDIA earnings are tomorrow. Yes. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been one of the top producers all year, currently at $419 and up over 200% in the last year. Has had a recent little dip, but you could see I've been charting this, and NVIDIA has been an absolute monster. As you can see here, in the last year, up 197%. So absolutely killing it is NVIDIA in the last year. Like I said, up 197%. Meta has also been an absolute monster. I mean, look at this. Look at the chart on Meta, just killing it. If we could have just bought this at 90, would have been an amazing buy at 90. And today at 310, that's a 247% gain in 352 days. In less than a year, you could have made 247% on Facebook, now called Meta, formerly Facebook. And you can see Meta is climbing at $311. So it's been the year of the big companies, the top 7. They call them the top 7 stocks that have performed very, very well this year. It's been their year. They've all performed well. But outside of the top 7, the market hasn't been very strong. So you need to be aware of that the market has been so-so and not very strong outside of the top 7. Let's take a look at some of the top stocks of the day. CLLS up 184% right now. PATI up 102% right now. ALDX up 45%. TGTX up 31%. MNPR up 27%. Those are the big movers and shakers of the day. CLGN up 20%. MDAI up 20%. Scott's Miracle-Gro SMG up 19%. YCBD up 17%. GVP up 17%. LIFW up 7%. And AMD, after reporting strong yesterday, up 9%. Welcome on TikTok, welcome on YouTube and all other devices. I am your host, Richard D'Souza, here for the Rich TV Live podcast. I am watching Fed Jerome Powell speak on inflation, the U.S. economy, the Fed's decision to leave rates unchanged, and what the Fed is looking to do moving forward. And they still want to get the inflation down to 2%. We're still over 3.5%. So we got to get the inflation down. And the only way to get inflation down is really to raise rates. So you have to assume at some point they will raise rates. The question is when and how much and how will that affect the market. And the market right now is trying to digest all of that information. If anyone has any questions or anything they want to discuss, please put it in the chat box and I'll do my best to answer your questions. And I can show you guys what I'm seeing in the markets. If you have any picks you want me to look at, please put it in the chat and I'll do my best to take a look at some of your picks. So you can see here on Market Watch, the Dow Jones is up 239 basis points or 0.72%. S&P 500 is up 44 basis points or 1.05%. And the NASDAQ leading the way up 1.41% and 180 basis points. All right, I'm going to continue to watch the meeting here with Jerome Powell. Other than that, I want to wish everyone a great day. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Happy trading. If you want to see our top 10 stocks for November 2023, you can find that all over social media, find it on our website, and we really appreciate you being here. I'm the host with the most, your host with the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live and a Rich TV Live podcast. If you like winning, you're probably not watching. And if you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring you the winners and we bring them to you first. CEO interviews, breaking news, trending topics right here exclusively on the Rich TV Live podcast. Thank you for watching. We'll keep you updated on everything in the world of finance, everything in the world of stocks, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, news. You can see we're doing a lot of videos on news right now as there's a lot of big news in the world of finance, in the world of war, unfortunately, and in the world of sports. And we're bringing you all the biggest breaking news and trending topics every day in the world of finance, news, and sports. Thank you for watching. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, bringing you this 24th episode of Stocks and Stacks everywhere on all devices. Thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a great day. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live on the Rich TV Live podcast. My name is Richard D'Souza. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Peace.